Alrighty, welcome back to the 2024 North Central Florida High School Football Media Day, hosted at the Alachua County Sports and Event Center at Celebration Point in Gainesville. Today's event is broadcast live on FloridaHSFootball.com, including YouTube and Facebook at Florida HS Football and X at FLA HS Football. I'm Cam Parker. With me now is the Fort White Indians, led by Coach Demetric Jackson. His second stint at Fort White returned after last year. Coach, welcome. Just talk about your team in this offseason and how it's gone for you guys.
Have a great team coming back. A team that went 9-1 last year regular season, made it to the playoffs. Returned bulk of our players. We had defensively by LaCosta Bird, Hayden McCory on defense, and also have Tafari Moe. Offensively, quarterback returns junior Jaden Jackson, and our center, we brought it with us today, James Demaro. We had some additions to this team that we feel gives us a chance to really go far.
And I, just with this team and the 9-1 record last year, what are some of the things that you guys are really pushing to improve on to get over that hump and that one loss?
One of the things is we really want to focus on each week, each game, as we prepare for a long season. We don't want to kind of look ahead. We just kind of want to take each game as they come. But also it's very important that we get a good seed, kind of helps you in the playoffs. So every game is very important based on the RPI ranking. But there are definitely some games out there that we kind of circle in the back of our minds that we need to make sure we take care of those teams or give them our best shot.
And for you personally, you're one of the more veteran coaches in the area. Your second stint at Fort White, but 16th overall year. Just how much has high school football in the area and in the state has changed since you started?
Oh, wow. It's changed drastically, especially in the last, I would say, last 4 years. Things kind of started changing, when they had the COVID. You had a big push with the concussion deal, and there was a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there were some parents and the media kind of started, should our son play football? And so dealing with that concussion, and then you had COVID come in, and the next thing you know, the whole landscape of NIL and players transferring and the state allowing you to go to any school that you want kind of changed a lot of the dynamics of high school football. We're kind of in a situation where we don't have to experience a whole of that. It's good and it's bad. We don't have a whole lot to offer. I mean, we have pretty much 3 businesses in the town of Fort White. So there's not a whole lot of NIL deals that we have to worry about. On the same token, we don't have to worry about our kids leaving, kind of ways to go to the next school. We get 1 or 2 players in from other schools. But for the most part, we've kind of been able to tread on the good side of all the transition that's happened in high school football.
Gotcha. And we'll get started with the players right away. We'll start with LaCosta Boyd, the linebacker. Bird. Gotcha. Misprint on the paper. So just talk about this defense for Fort White and what have you seen so far?
I feel like we've seen really great things. Like, we go out to practice every day, work hard. We got some great young players on the defensive line, some great veterans, some leaders on the defensive line. And me as a leader as a linebacker core, I think we got a real strong front 7 and some great guys in the secondary as well.
And what are some of the things that you're working on personally? And you're a senior this year, correct?
Yes,
what are some of the things that you're working on for your final year?
I was working on perfecting all the small details, just becoming a better player overall. It's like focusing on one game at a time, and just being the best player I can be every day at practice, and being a leader to my teammates.
All right, awesome. And we'll keep moving down the line. We have Tafari Moe right after, receiver. Talk about this Fort White receiving core. I know you guys also brought in Mike Peterson Jr. He's in there now. You guys have a great quarterback too. How is the cohesiveness of that unit and the passing game for Fort White?
Yes, sir. I think our receiver core is great this year. I think it helps that we got a quarterback that's coming back, a great quarterback, and our O-line, we got a great O-line. So I think with that, and I think we've been going over our plays. We're learning the plays and the concepts. So I think it's very cohesive, and I think it's going to go good.
And again, another senior. Just talk about the veteran presence of this team and how it's going to help you guys.
I think the veteran presence is good. It brings experience, so we can lead. Yes, sir.
And we'll keep moving down. The only offensive lineman in the group, James, holding it down for us. Again, you guys have plenty of skill positions and weapons. Talk about this offensive line unit. How do they help this group and these skill players, do their jobs effectively? And how is it having such talented skill position players, and how are they able to help you guys as offensive linemen?
Well, I mean, having the skill players that we have is great. Our offense line is getting better day by day. I think the skill players help us because they do their job, we do our job, and we'll succeed at the end of the day.
And talk about your leadership style for the offensive line. Sometimes, leaderships on the offensive line can be a little bit different for other skill positions in general. So, what's your leadership style for this group?
I mean, I just like to make sure everybody's on the same page and that we're all ready to go 100% every play.
All right, awesome, and we'll keep it going down there. You said who is Hayden McCrory? Gotcha. Had a different number listed for you, so I got confused. So Hayden is a linebacker on defense. Talk about this Fort White defense again. Just what have you seen so far? How are you helping them as a leader? And what can we expect going forward?
I mean, yeah, we had a couple of additional pieces, to our defense. But as Scoop said, we got a great front seven and very experienced D line, and I think we're gonna be very solid on the defensive side of the ball this year. So we're looking good.
And talk about some of the improvements you guys made from last year to this year to help you guys get past that 9-1 record and make a deep run in the postseason.
Honestly, it's just details. That's really what we've been pushing all summer. Lock in is the little things, the details that really change a game. So that's what we're focused on this year.
Gotcha. And we'll finish it up with the quarterback, Demetric Jackson. Jaden, we talked about the receiving core. Just again, how does that for you as a quarterback, having talented players on the outside, but also good offensive line in front of you?
A good offensive line, I mean, they also give me a lot of time back there, but I got some guys who really go after it, and they perfect their craft, and they make my job a lot easier.
Gotcha. And it says here that you also play defensive back. Is that correct? Talk about the defensive back room for Fort White.
The defensive back aspect of it, I mean, we got a lot of guys returning too, a lot of communication, but a lot of new guys coming in. So we just got to all get on the same page and focus on the details.
All right, awesome. I appreciate it. Coach, any final thoughts, anything that we should look out for with Fort White this year?
No, just bring a great brand of football. I mean, we got guys that we can play smash mouth, we can play spread, we can play all different types of concepts. But the culture of Fort White football is on the rise. I mean, we really feel good about this particular class. We were led by a strong group of seniors that played a lot of football, and so we look forward to seeing them this upcoming season. Got a lot of talent, a lot of guys got a chance to go off onto the next level. Got some young guys that are really paving their way and doing some great things. So I'm just excited to get this season started. Probably the biggest thing that I see with this team is the chemistry that we have. There's a major difference between some teams that I've had in the past and compared to this team here. They really like to be around each other, and I think that'll carry you far.
All right, awesome, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight, hanging out with us, and putting up with the delay. We appreciate you guys sitting through it and your patience, and we wish you guys the best of luck going forward this year.